There's one episode I just saw that genuinely shocked me in a lot of different ways, because the premise for this episode is absolutely insane.
How dare you defend yourself? You are the destroyer!
And what you just saw and heard is really the main reason why I think this episode specifically is one of the craziest Simpsons episodes I've ever seen in my life.
Yes, that's it. The destroyer. You ruin everything.
Because a lot of what was happening in this episode in particular was just Homer and Marge feeling regretful about them having Bart as a son. And I'll be honest, that is very, very wild.
He's a bad kid, straight up.
You're lucky you only have him for 1 year.
Any child who's ever heard their parents saying the types of things that Homer and Marge were telling Bart in this episode would be permanently and significantly traumatized.
We don't like our own son. We're horrible parents.
He just wears you down.
And even Homer and Marge themselves know that the things that they were feeling and telling Bart in this episode were absolutely vile, and that is definitely true.
How dare you defend yourself? You are the destroyer! 10 years as your father has left me empty!
The act itself of telling a child that he's a destroyer and that he ruins everything is incredibly toxic. And to be honest, that would definitely have a very, very long and lasting impact on any child who hears that. It's one of those things that someone would never be able to heal from in their entire lives. Because just think about it. How would you feel if you were Bart in this situation? Hearing your own parents and even your little sister saying over and over directly to your face that you're the destroyer of everything in their lives.
Bart put hot dog water in the ice maker. He's the destroyer!
It's absolutely insane. That would be a very heavy burden to carry as a child and would definitely cause you to have a whole bunch of self-esteem issues that would severely affect your life in many ways.
What Bart did was inexcusable. We're on your side.
He's a bad kid, straight up.
And this whole situation with Homer and Marge contemplating and thinking about how their lives would be better if Bart was never born started because of Bart convincing a bunch of younger kids to draw in their storybooks at a school. And that's why Homer and Marge got so angry at him. Personally, I think they were completely overreacting. Because the impact of your parents telling you to your face that you are a destroyer is going to be way bigger and much, much more painful than a couple of drawings in some storybooks. And it's even worse when you remember that Bart encouraging the kids to do this is what made them actually enjoy reading the storybooks and learning in general.
This is the first book he hasn't tried to kiss or wear as a hat. All thanks to your son. May I hug the people who created Bart?
Ooh!
And so, ironically enough, while Homer and Marge were losing their minds and becoming so pissed off about what he did, the teachers were actually praising Bart because of his actions, having the effect of making these kids want to learn more and more. And it's because of that that Homer and Marge start questioning if they ever liked Bart to begin with.
Was it everyone else saw the best in Bart and we didn't?
I mean, we love Bart, don't we?
But what if we don't like him?
I definitely think that it's always obvious to a child when the parents do not want them to be in their lives. So Homer and Marge dreaming of a world where Bart was never born is something that would greatly and very negatively affect his development. And I think you should never ever tell a child those type of words in any scenario. And even if you want to say that Bart didn't hear them saying these specific words, they were still calling him a destroyer right to his face, which is absolutely insane. But nonetheless, a child will always be able to tell when the parents don't actually like his presence or just tolerating him. Because trust me, kids are way more perceptive about this type of stuff than adults realize. Especially if he has siblings and can clearly see that they're receiving more affection and love than he does.
My beautiful, wonderful boy is...
We like you. We just realized.
I like you guys too. Wait, what do you mean you just realized?
Of course, at the end of the episode, Marge and Homer ended up realizing that they actually liked their son. And even though it's a good ending, I guess, it's still very disturbing to me that they had to have an entire dream/nightmare that they discovered that they liked him in the real world to begin with. And while I think that it's a pretty realistic concept because there are many, many children in this exact situation, and that the episode was done well in general, I think my disconnect with this one specifically is that Homer and Marge aren't meant to be abusive parents. At least I don't think so. So for them to make an entire episode based around Homer and Marge, imagining how life would be if they didn't give birth to this one specific child, definitely felt very off to me.